All right, what's up, guys? World's tallest midgets here.
Yo,
I have a guest midget here because Martin couldn't see the movie, but we just finished watching Marcel, the shell with shoes on. I kept messing that up. I called it Mauricio, the snail with shoes on. I kept like Mauricio, the shell with
Crocs
Crocs
on,
on,
bro.
Air Jordans on, whatever. We just finished watching the movie. I had seen the trailer a couple months ago, and I was interested because of the studio A24. I know they make a lot of creative movies that are like on a small budget, indie style movies. And I saw the trailer, but I forgot when it was coming out. And then Joel got an invitation, like a pass for a screening at AMC, and I saw it came out June 24th, I believe. So I was really surprised that it wasn't a big theatrical release. I thought it would have been released everywhere, like the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. But no, it's released in, I believe, 40 theaters nationwide. So it was a more limited release. But we went to see it. We got out like about an hour ago or so, and overall, I I thought it was good. It was a cute movie. I'm not sure if it was intended to be a kids movie, but that's what I felt like. I could see why it's also for adults, but I was expecting more, I guess I could say. Um, so what I can say without spoiling too much is, if you see the trailer, that you basically see almost everything that happens in the movie. You know Marcel with his grandma, his family's missing. He's looking for his grandma. He gets in 60 minutes, and then you see in the trailer that he's reunited with his family. That's basically all that happens in the movie. I guess this is spoilers, but whatever. And
Gotcha.
there are some things, some elements that they add on. You see how they get separated. You see what happens. You see like the bickering he goes through with his grandma and with Dean, the director of the movie, on the videos of Marcel.
Mauricio.
Mauricio. I'm gonna
This
keep
guy.
saying Mauricio, but yeah, it was cute. It's cute, like the little interactions, the little jokes they have back and forth. There's a scene where Dean takes Marcel out on a car ride, and he's going through the city, and he's amazed by how many houses there are and how big the world is, because he had no idea. And you see him throwing up a couple times because of motion sickness. So they'll add a few jokes there, and overall the tone is definitely more like, it just seems like he's like in awe of like the world, like exploring everything. And it's just very, I guess they want it to be philosophical in a way, where he's talking about life and family and exploration. And he'll say things like, Dean will ask him why he smiles so much, and he says because it's worth it, like he's a cover girl. But you could tell they wanted to make it deep, they wanted to get people to cry. And I heard some reviews where people were in tears watching the movie. That definitely wasn't us. I mean, I wasn't miserable, but like when there's a scene that's pretty sad, I guess that happens, and I was like, all right. I mean, I saw that coming based on the story of the movie.
Yeah.
I saw that had 99% reviews, and I was like, man,
For
I
critics.
yeah, critics. I guess critics love like these like kind of like sappy, cute movies. I mean, we left it kind of. We didn't regret watching it again because it was free, but it wasn't something where I was in love with it. When it ended, I was really surprised. It was 80 minutes, I believe. It's the shortest movie I've ever seen in theaters. Maybe that's why it wasn't released everywhere, but it was a cute movie overall. Marcel gets reunited with his family, which happens in the trailer. So
No, you're
I kind of
spoiling it,
wish
man.
they would show. I wish they would have done more. I guess maybe introduce like different elements. I don't know, but now I guess share your thoughts.
I mean, I kind of agreed with what JC was saying too. Like, I feel like, I mean, I came into the movie like I had seen the trailer because JC had shared it with me like I think months ago. He like shared it, and I was like, I remember when I first saw the trailer, I was like, what the heck is this? Like, it looked kind of like, I mean, it looked like a movie I would watch, but like that I wouldn't necessarily want to spend money on. I knew the studio was known for making like really good movies with their creativeness. I know JC saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I think it's the same studio. So I know like critically, like they're always acclaimed for the most part, like those movies from that studio. The audience rating from what I saw was like 92, so I guess a lot of people loved it. I mean, I think it is what it is. The rating is a PG. It's a family-friendly movie. It's not like, I mean, it has its like sense of humor. You know, there's like parts that'll make you like laugh, like or like it'll make you chuckle at some stuff. Um, but it's just like a cute movie. Like I personally told JC I wouldn't go watch it again. It's not like a movie I would go out of my way and watch it again. Like it was just the only times like there were times where I was trying to hold back tears, but it made it okay because JC was there with me, so I was trying to be strong for him. But
Yeah,
more
whenever
than-
there was a sad scene, he would reach for my pants, and I was like, bro, like, we're in public.
It's just what
But-
sad scenes usually do that to me, so it was something along those lines. But for the most part, yeah, it was just we were reading some reviews too, and like we saw people were like how they were like crying their eyes out, and then people next to them were like stone faced. So we probably would be the stone faced people because we legit like it
Yeah,
wasn't
we're-
it wasn't anything like that serious. I mean,
Where they're eating our M&Ms and eating some fries, just...
I think it was definitely the movie. I told JC my favorite scene was like seeing the show, like when he's going out with the guy Dean and like they're trying to find his family and he's just exploring the city, which I believe is LA. He's just going around exploring, and it's just kind of like, I guess, the innocence of like, he's like the innocence of a child, and then seeing the world for the first time and seeing like all these tattoo shops, and like he kept pointing out how there's so many tattoo shops, and it kind of just makes you think like, oh dang, like next time I go out, like dang, there actually is like a bunch of tattoo shops in this area, there's a bunch of this. It just kind of makes you want to be, or maybe not want to be, but you would be more observant of your surroundings next time you go out. He was there like realizing how big the city was, like where he lived in, and then he asked like the, whatever, I'm gonna spoil a little bit, but he asked like the guy there, like
Dean.
yeah, he asked Dean, he's like man, he's like this is like huge, like he's like, is this like everything there is in the world? And Dean's like, no, this is only like one small part of like a big city, and there's like multiple big cities in the world. So it just makes you like, you know, kind of realize like how much there is out there to see, and like to do out there. And the movie was definitely cute, philosophical. I think people can relate to different parts, different areas. I don't know if in the trailer it shows his grandma, and does it show like his grandma
Yeah.
passing away?
No.
Oh,
But that...
my bad.
That's
But,
that's like the one scene they didn't show in the trailers. They don't show how they get separated, and they don't show the
Alright.
grandma die. But yeah, his grandma dies. I'll just put this as a spoiler review. The grandma dies, and in honor of
bad.
that, we got matching Grandma Bonnie and Marcel tattoos.
You see me here with like a shell like right here. Like,
It's like when you flex, you see the shell move. But I actually
Like the
didn't know it
grandma
was.
flexing.
I didn't know it was PG rated. I should have looked into that because I've honestly never seen. I haven't seen a PG movie in a while. I've never seen a movie kind of like this, that type of lifestyle, stop motion, where it's animation and like real world, and it's like, like home video. So I guess I just didn't know what to expect. It definitely was creative. There was nothing bad about it. I wasn't cringing at anything. It was very wholesome, very sweet, very heartfelt. You know, it's a good movie for the family.
yeah.
I guess it's just something that I'm used to, like action, drama, comedy movies. I'm like a dweeb, so I guess I'm not the type of person to appreciate it.
Yeah.
But overall, it was cute. I feel like I can't accurately give it a rating because it's just. I mean, I'll try. If I had to grade it, I would give it like I guess like a 7 out of 10. Part of me wants to give it higher because I know it's a quality movie, but I can't just say that because everyone else. But like in my opinion, it was around a 7. Wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad by any means either. But what about you?
Yeah, I'd probably give it like a 7, maybe 2. I just know like it's not my kind of. I'm not a big fan of stop motion movies usually, like Wallace and Gromit and like those other movies like in the past. I was never been like a big fan of those things. So I already came into this movie like not expecting like for me to like love it necessarily. I kind of did expect it to be a little better, that I would like enjoy it a little more. It was a little more like when I first walked in and saw them and I was watching the movie, I was kind of like wondering what I got myself into. That was like the first thing that came into my head. Like I was like, what are we watching? I was like, it's a good thing I have food with me because this time is not gonna be wasted because I'll be eating. But
Yeah.
Um,
The one thing that like, I guess the only grip I had was the voice of Marcel. I think it's voiced by Jenny Slate. She's like I'm basically an actress. I believe she's a comedian, but the voice was partly it was just really difficult to understand because it sounds like a little boy who got kicked in the nuts, and you could like barely understand him. And I found myself kind of like in the movie Tenet. That was another one where the sound mixing was bad. This one is not the sound mixing. It's just like the voice they give him. I know it's supposed to be a little boy and he's like a tiny shell, but I understood maybe like 80% of what he said. It was kind of hard understanding him,
mm.
and but
I don't think I had an issue with that. Like I understood what he was saying, and I mean I don't know. I wasn't necessarily annoyed by his voice, but I think it was just like whatever. Like I said, like it was like a movie where for what it is and like the messages behind it. The reason why I had mentioned the grandma earlier was because like I think it's something where a lot of people can necessarily they might be able to relate to, because you might be able to relate to loss if you've lost like a loved one before, or if you like think about it in a way. Like it's just like it kind of makes you reflect on like a few things in life, makes you reflect on loved ones, and makes you reflect on family and just like having family around, and like the importance of just having like people around too. And um it does touch on a subject too. I wouldn't go too much into it, but um I guess I'll touch on it like a little bit. It was like on social media, and just like how
that's right.
yeah, how it's not necessarily like it'll like how it's not necessarily community. Like you want it to be more of a community, but people just
It's like an
they
audience.
yeah, they just have an audience, and they just want to get out of it like what benefits for them. So like somebody might, let's say like a celebrity, for example, you might meet a celebrity, you take a picture with them, and you want to post that picture in a way like kind of makes you reflect, and it's like, dang, like I'm kind of doing this for selfish matters in a way. Like I'm doing this like to kind of like post about myself and the fact that I met this person. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
part of what made me think, and like specifically in the movie, it touches on some more stuff about that. So
Yeah, like social media, they show how it's a double-edged sword, where if it wasn't for social media, Marcel likely wouldn't have been invited on 60 Minutes and wouldn't have found his family. But at the same time, you get all these like TikTok kids and people showing up at the Airbnb house where he is, like invading their privacy, and people, kind of trolling in the comments. So it's something where I feel like it's a precautionary tale too of kids watching it regarding social media, that you want to think the best of people, but a lot of time that doesn't always work. But in his case, it kind of did help. But yeah, it's like when you think about it more, there are a lot of life lessons in the movie. They do just touch on family, and it's very wholesome. There's nothing negative about it, nothing that you can dislike. It's just type of movie that you have to go into the expectation, like that is something that's a family movie, philosophical. It's not something that is gonna entertain, little kids or people that want like action or something like that. But
yeah,
it was definitely a cute movie.
I mean, now that you reflected on the philosophical and the lessons that you learned from the movie, would you still give it a 7?
No, definitely not. After that, I would give it like a 4. No, I'll still say like a 7. Just because while I do appreciate those things, I just can't
See
give
me head
it
out.
like
I get pissed off.
he just like leaves. I can't give it higher because while I do appreciate those things, like just the entertainment for me, I wasn't like in awe. I wasn't in tears. I'm not like the message didn't like rock my world, I guess, because it's a lot of things that we already like know. I guess it reminds us. So if I gave it higher, I would just be saying that to like appease other like people that give it a higher rating. But I feel like I would give it around a 7.
I think it is stuff that you already know, but yeah, sometimes like it's like a reminder, like you were saying. Like it's
Yeah.
not like movies nowadays, like they go about and they teach you a lesson necessarily. Like I mean, there's a few, like I would say like Thor taught me like more lessons than this movie did, but I know
What?
like
What are you talking about? I was gonna say it reminds me of Soul. Soul a lot. Like what it reminds me of when Marcel's in the car and they're driving around and he's looking at all the tattoo shops and he's like taking in the environment and like the atmosphere. It reminded me of Soul when number, what was her name, 13, Soul 13 or 22, I forget,
I'm not sure.
when she's in Joe's body and she's just like splitting pizza and she's like, wow, walking is amazing, walking is my purpose. And you see that she's like in love with the barbershop, in love with like everything that she comes across. She just appreciates it so much because like she has a soul for the first time, or she has a body to experience life in. So it reminded me of that in the movie Soul, where it kind of like helps you slow down and appreciate life, and like appreciate the little things and not be, so caught up on like everyday, um, stuff that we do that like stresses us out or
Yeah.
takes up all our time.
Yeah, it's just a movie that depends on like whether you're in the mood to watch that. Like you might want to watch a movie just to get away from like reality, and you want to watch like an action movie like to pump you up, a comedy to change your mood. This one is just like more like reflective and makes you think. So it's one of those like if you're in the mood for something like that, or if you just want a nice movie to watch with the family, I'd say it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we both gave it a 7, right?
Yeah.
Both gave it a 7, but thanks for watching, all 17 of you who will probably see this, but let me not say that. Maybe we'll get more. But yeah, this is World's Tallest Midgets, signing off.
All right, man.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego, guys.